Her space. Welcome, everyone. Switch.
Good morning. Hashanah Tova. Prepare ourselves to receive the wisdom today from Rabbi Jamie and from the music, preparing ourselves to be the vessel. Oh, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I will be living sanctuary for you. Sing if you know the words. Prepare me. Oh, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy. Holy, I am tried and true. With thanksgiving, I will be living sanctuary for you. I will affirm that I am yours and I am your sanctuary. I am yours. Oh, I am yours and I am your sanctuary. I am yours. I am yours. I am your sanctuary. am a living sanctuary for you. With thanksgiving, I am a living sanctuary for you.
With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Let's start with gratitude for being alive and reaching this new year together, for our bodies and the capacity of our bodies to heal, to fight off illness, to resurrect in the morning. And the blessings in the first part of the service, Birchot HaShachar, are about tuning into our bodies. So you can find the traditional blessings for the morning service in the Machzor. And I'm going to offer a psalm translation as a form of meditation for us and invite you to turn inward to your breath, to tune into your bodies, feel your heartbeat, feel the contact, the physical experience of connecting with the chair, with the floor, with the earth, and with your breath. The energy illuminating everything cannot be seen or named. When all I see is reflection and refraction, who am I to be afraid of dark or light, of seeing, being seen, or not? Silence is the mother of all sound, syllable, naming. When a wisp of breath and unspoken incantation guards the fortress of my life, who shall I fear? Which eye is doing all that worrying? Fear and worry come fast, consuming my flesh from within, thieving me of ease and joy. If only they would stumble, topple like the walls of Jericho. For now they have set up camp, settled in, starving head of sense and heart of wonder. If you force upon me this unwanted war, I will trust in this mystery of light and sight, hidden forces made visible through refracting masks. From body to heart, my deepest desire, one desire, if granted one last wish, this would be my request: to sample Sabbath rest in the house of wonder every living day, to see with eyes of equanimity and ease, waking me into each new dawn in a palace of delight. Point me north to find shelter from my worst fears, under a blanket of stars promising progeny, winking at me through the leafy roof of a sukkah. Let me hide in the hidden folds of that makeshift shelter, tent turned tabernacle, sanctuary erected on and protected by a mountain of smooth, solid sandstone. There. See my head rise above engulfing echoes of ois and vase, releasing, sacrificing wants no longer suited for surface, fragmented breaths pressed through parsed lips into a horn, transforming silent fears into jubilant song. Teruah. I will sing Zivchei Teruah. Atonement through attunement. Shema Koli. Hear my voice turning silence into song. Choneni. Fill me with an easy grace in the face of my unfulfilled desires. Aneni. Gift me with a humble responsiveness to your unmet needs. Our declaration today, Lule. What if? What if it were not so? Doubt, division, danger, death, as if. Today I choose to live as if I have the courage to act in the face of doubt, to see the hidden connections and blessing, to belong and be beholden to the living land, Eretz Chaim. Together let us draw new kinds of lines in the living land, in the shifting sand. I choose to trust you, to empower you, to re-see you, to celebrate your courageous heart, Ametz Lev, and reshape this longing in your likeness. Estranged from the source of moon, mountain, and sun, afraid of the emptiness if you don't come. If your name is nothingness, why do I run? When need and fulfillment all flow from the one, let it come. Lift up your eyes, see hilltop meets skies. In clouds and in peaks, find the help that we seek. Esainai, Esainai, Ele Harim, Ele Harim, Me'ayin Yavo, Yavo Esri. Esainai, Ele Harim, Me'ayin Yavo, Yavo Esri. Esri Me'im Adonai. Ose Shamayim Ba'aretz. Esri Me'im Adonai. Ose Shamayim Ba'aretz. Esainai, Esainai, Ele Harim, Ele Harim, Me'ayin Yavo, Yavo Esri. Here is my helper, with me all along. Now planting in soil, now lifting up songs. Seeds of my longing, sounds of reaping. inspired by heaven's remaking the earth. 'Cause it's worth it. Lift up my eyes, lift up my eyes. See hilltop meet skies. In clouds and in peaks, find the help that we seek. Esainai, Esainai, Elearim, Me'aim Yapo, Yapo Esri. Song for the climb, Shir HaMalot, Shir HaMalot. It's a song for the climb, song for the climb. Lift up my eyes. Let's start with this, gathering us together now in the sanctuary here, across Zoom. Maybe if you're from out of state and you're renaming your screen, you can put what state you're from or where you're calling in from. We can see where everybody's from. I'm here in Evergreen. Laura's off in Portland, Oregon. Hopefully with air clearing. We are gathering in unique and in some ways wondrous, if not challenging ways, coming together to create community, and we'll rise here in the sanctuary to respond to that call, to be together. We rise and bow our heads, calling in your name. Blessed Holy One, we see you in each face. Together.
Blessed Holy One, your presence in this place, hidden in plain sight. You fill our hearts with grace.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamevorach, Hamevorach.
Baruch Adonai, Hamevorach, Hamevorach, Me'olam va'ed. Ya la 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 la.
Yeah, 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 Look around, scan the Zoom names, send some smiles with your eyes, and then you can take a seat and we'll smile about many blessings that surround us, the cycles of light and dark, the seasons changing. renewing, reminding us that there are forces in nature that are infinite and expansive and ordered and rich. Baruch atah Adonai, yotzer or, uvorei choshech, oseh shalom, uvorei et hakol. Blessed is the source of light and darkness, and peace and everything. Or chadash, al Zion ta'ir. May a new light on a new year shine upon us, upon Zion, upon Israel, and renew and restore a sense of hope and in humanity and in our capacity to heal ourselves and our planet. Baruch atah Adonai, yotzer hameorot. Let us declare the oneness of all that is. Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Page 304 in the prayer book.
Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
And you shall love
Ve'ohavta et
Adonai Elohecha
b'chol
levavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha vehayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha vishinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha ulechtecha b'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha vehayu letotafot bein einecha uchtabtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha. And with this wisdom from the ages, perhaps we can learn and teach our way to freedom. A Song of Freedom, page 318, Mi Chamocha.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai.
Mi Chamocha nedar ba'kodesh, Nora tehilot osef elem.
Shira kadesha, shibachu geolim, lishimcha svatayom. Yachad kulam hodu, limechu ye'amebru.
Adonai imloch le'olam
va'ed.
Let us rise.
Zor Yisrael, kuma bezrat Yisrael, uvdei kinu machal, yechuta v'chad v'Yisrael, go'aleini Adonai Savaot shemo, kadosh Yisrael, baruch atah Adonai Gal Yisrael. Adonai.
Page 324.
Ananana satatita. Ananana ufiagi. Ufiagi tefilateka.
Ananana
Baruch atah
Adonai,
Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Noram El Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imot U'Mevii Geulah Livnei Bneihem L'man Shemo B'chava
page 328.
Zokreinu
Lechaim, Melech Hafetz B'chaim,
V'chotvenu b'sefer ha'chaim L'ma'an lecha Elohim chayim Zokreinu lechaim Melech Hafetz b'chaim V'chotvenu b'sefer ha'chaim L'ma'an lecha Elohim chayim Meletz ozer Mashiach u'magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ve'atzav
Amen. Page 346. Let us ask ourselves hard questions. For this is the time for truth. How much time did we waste in the year that is gone? Did we fill our days with life, or were they dull and empty? Was there love inside our home, or was there affectionate word left unsaid? Was there real companionship with our children, or was there a living together and growing apart? Did we live by false values, or did we deceive others or deceive ourselves? Were we sensitive to the rights and feelings of those who worked for us? Did we acquire only possessions, or did we acquire new insights as well? Did we fear what the crowd would say and keep quiet when we should have spoken out? Did we mind only our own business, or did we feel the heartbreak of others? Did we live right? And if not, then have we learned, and will we change? Unetana Tokef, page 348. Shift to Zoom.
Unetane Tokef Kedushat Hayom Ki hu nora ve'ayom voti naseh mahutecha ve'yikon bechesed kisecha vateshev alav be'emet
Page 350.
The Rosh Hashanah.
On Rosh Hashanah,
Yikativu.
our hopes are written.
Uvyom Zom Kippur, Uvyom Zom Kippur, Yikatev.
And on Yom Kippur they are sealed. Kama yavurun, who shall pass on? Bekama yibaraun, and who shall be as new? Miva esh, who by fire and fire anger? Umi, who by cool indifference or flood? Berosh Hashanah. Katevon, Uvyom Tzom Kippur, Uvyom Tzom Kippur, Yekatevon. Umuva Magefa, who shall be stricken by a plague, a global pandemic? Uvu Umi Vahanika, and who shall be strangled by racism, barely able to breathe? Who shall relax in her own home? And who shall have no place to call home? Who will live in constant uncertainty of poverty? Umi, and who doesn't understand the responsibility of privilege?
Rosh Hashanah.
Rosh Hashanah. Yikatevu, Uyom Tzom Kippur, Uyom Tzom Kippur, Yikatevu. Rosh Hashanah. Yikatevu. another way. And switch.
Uteshua, utefila, utsedaga, ma'avirin et roa, hagezerah.
Avinu Malkeinu.
Ya la la
La
la
la la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la.
ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la
Give the page number down.
Page is 470. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Benorah Shemo.
Echad Adonai, Gadol Adonai, Kadosh Benorah Shemo.
Gadol Adonai iti, Oyerom Memo, Shemo Yachdav. Adonai, Hagedula, Vehagevura, Vehatiferet, Vehanetzach, Vehahod. Kicho Bashamayim Ubaretz, Kicho Bashamayim Ubaretz. V'chadonai Hamalacha, V'haminaseh l'chol ha'olam. Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Ha'olam, Ha'olam Va'eh. Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim,
Al Shlosha Devarim, Ha'olam, Ha'olam Va'eh. HaTorah, HaAvodah, HaGemilut Chasadim,
Okay, you may be seated. Shana Tova, good to see you. We are so grateful to have this opportunity to gather in person, truly. Want to invite Joanne Greenberg to offer some words, her little Devar Torah, as she does annually before we open up and begin our Torah reading for this Shabbat and Rosh Hashanah.
I'm sick of hearing about and responding to the virus and losing my words in my mask, standing around rebreathing. Before I begin to talk about beginnings, I want to give public thanks for private acts. Albert and I have been helped in ways that have stunned us almost to tears. I want to praise and thank those people who have made our sequestration easy and even pleasant. All of them are from this congregation. We are an Am, a people. You know who you are. I don't want to embarrass you. You have made this congregation an Am, and you have proved it. Thank you, thank you. When we lost the Jerusalem temple, we Jews began the first of many diasporas, but the separation among the scholars and students was ameliorated by letters they wrote to one another, back and forth, in the 200 years that spelled Rome's own decline. The scholars did more than grieve over the loss of that holy place. Someone or someones had the idea that instead of sanctifying location, we might try to sanctify time. I don't know if this gifted winged soul knew all the ramifications of this seemingly odd and certainly unique idea, that it strengthened monotheism, that it made us mobile in a way we never could have been without it, that it allowed for all the creative variations of real diversity and much more than skin color, that it shut the door on incarnation and widened the range of our vision, that it had power and endurance that location does not. I used to teach etymology to a 6th grade class at Ralston School. Kids read more then than they do now, and their vocabularies were bigger than they are now. One of the things I did was to write a group of cognates of Latin and Greek words on the board and let the students figure out what the roots must have been and what they must have meant. One day the words were confine, refine, final, define, definite, and infinite. The kids got them, phenom, yes, limits, borders, boundaries. I proceeded to open the definitions, and when I came to infinite, I remarked that scientists say that space is infinite. What would that mean? Yes, no end, no limit. Chris Green, front row, said, but that would mean, yes, no end. No limit. Precisely. That it would never, none at all. Chris, by then, was hanging on to his desk with both hands. Mrs. Greenberg, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Einstein says space-time. There you have it. Of course, like the nitpickers they were, the old sages had to work the ground. When exactly is sunset? 4 views, all carefully thought out. What is a day exactly? When does it begin? When exactly is the candle lit? Time, whatever that really is now calculated on atomic clocks to the second of a second, but like all Talmudic arguments, it is also subjective, as witness our present confinement. This year, the year this month has been. So while the post-diaspora rabbis saved time, they also saved Judaism, and they are saving me from despair. There are 4 Hebrew words for expressions of time, and one is moed. Translations of the Torah call the Ohel Moed the tent of meeting, but it really means the tent where we meet at specific times. It's what Rabbi Jamie and Eve and Elizabeth and all of you have made these meetings and worked so hard to save Judaism, like all those scholars did in the old BCs.
Thank you, Joanne. Beautiful. So we're going to try a Torah service in a new and different way. So the first thing is we are going to invite, this is why we've made all of you sort of panelists so you can mute and unmute yourselves. We're going to invite groups to come up as we usually do for 6 aliyot. Because it's Shabbat, we add an aliyah, and we'll have themes for those aliyot. So if you feel like one of those sort of themes are calling you, are inviting you to say a blessing, to offer a blessing, you'll be either unmute yourself on screen, or you can come up to the bima, or if you prefer to do the blessing from your seat, we understand that as well. The blessings can be found in the prayer book, which maybe one of you can find in the prayer book. It'll be, I'm not seeing the page number right now, but we'll have 6 aliyot. The first category, as you can see, will be folks who are celebrating new life this past year, a new birth or adoption or a simcha that you celebrated this past year. The second will be for those who are letting go of something, either retirement or a adult child moving on and going to college, etc. The third one will be for the Legacy Society, the folks at Beth Evergreen who have made bequests to the synagogue to preserve its endowment and its longevity. The fourth will be for those who are marking new ventures, like a new business or a new school program, and also for welcoming new members. The fifth will be for those seeking healing for themselves or someone dear to them. And the last one we'll reserve for those newcomers, guests who haven't been to Beth Evergreen before, or haven't been in a long time and are doing it, remotely or something like that. Okay, so 6 blessings, and we have readers that some will do in live and some will do pre-recorded, so we'll see if we can figure this out. The blessings for the Aliyah, for the before and after the reading, are on page 476 in the Machzor. So maybe Elizabeth can pull that up if you don't have a Machzor handy on the screen. Okay, so the first Aliyah, and we're reading, of course, from the book of Genesis, chapter 21, the saga of Sarai, Sarah, and Hagar, and Abraham, and Ishmael, and Isaac. So the first reader is Mindy Nitkin. And so anyone here celebrating a new child or grandchild in your family, or a new life in your, no?
I am.
Blessing because our foster son, we have Karen Bennett, great. And also, if you could show your video, then I can see you raise your hand, maybe. So Karen will maybe join me in the blessing before, and then we'll cue Mindy Nitkin, who will show the video of her reading the Torah as I'll point with it. And I'm marking foster son transition this year. So now foster daughter. The first, Vayazor b'tkinu sumbo v'nomar amen akol abnu chavod la Torah Yamdu Karen bat Avram Basara v'harab Benjamin Eliyahu ben Gabriel u'Margalit לעלייה הראשונה, ואתם מדביקים על רכוכם, חיים כולכם היום. So the reading, the text of the reading will be on page 481 and 82, I believe. Okay. Karen, you're going to join me?
Yes.
Et Adonai Hamborach. Baruch Adonai Borach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Kirvanu La'avodato V'natan Lanu Et Torato Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Badonai, pakad et Sarah, ka'asher amar, vayas Adonai, l'Sarah, ka'asher diber, vatahar, vatelet Sarah l'Abraham, ben lizkunav, lamoed, asher diberoto Elohim, vayikra Abraham et shem beno hanolad lo, asher yalda lo Sarah Yitzhak. Vayamol Abraham et Yitzhak beno ben shmonat yamim ka'asher siva oto Elohim.
And then Karen will join me in the blessing after. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Nice. Karen, maybe I'll be able to hear you here. Can you say what your simcha you're celebrating?
Bella Brooke Johnston was born last December the 3rd.
Son?
Bella Brooke Johnston was born last December.
Mazel tov. Very nice. So we celebrate the new births in our community. There's been, right, a lot of attention paid to the deaths in this passing. So let us celebrate the new life that we've seen this year as well. For the, let's do a Shechianu for Karen's new grandchild, and for the new life that's been come into the world this year. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazeman hazeh. Siman tov u'mazel tov, Karen.
Thank you.
For the second Aliyah, so that was Mindy. Maureen Spiegelman will be reading via Zoom live. There she is. And we're continuing with the story. Sarah has just given birth, or gotten pregnant and given birth, and Isaac's been circumcised. And for the second Aliyah, we'll do the blessing for those who are marking the release or letting go of something in their lives. Anybody fit that bill?
I do. That's why I volunteered for this one.
That's why. Would you do the blessing too?
Yes. I've moved, I've changed my life, and I have a new life partner. So I'm letting go of many things from my past and embracing a new future.
Mazel tov.
Thank you.
Maureen, go ahead and lead us.
Baruch Adonai Hamburach.
Hamburach leolam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'habarnu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. You hold that?
Amen. Abraham ben Mat Shana Behilalet lo et Yitzhak beno Vatomer Sarah Zehok Asali Elohim Hohashmea Yitzhak li Vatomer mi milel Abraham Eni Kavanim Sarah Ki Yiladiti Ben Lis Kunav Vayigdal Hayeled Vayigamal Vayas Abraham Mishtagado Vayom Higamal Et Yitzhak.
Okay, good. Blessing after.
Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet amnata b'toheinu baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yep. We're hand washing up here. As we beautifully, John, Maureen, beautifully done, and reading about the weaning of Isaac and a weaning celebration. And so too, may the weaning that you are going through, the challenges of it, the pain of it, remind you of the preciousness of what's being let go, and also give life to new openings and new worlds. Venomar, let us say, Amen. Okay, best of luck with the weaning. The third Aliyah, we're honoring those who have made pledges to the Legacy Society, to the endowment bequests. So maybe Dan can come up and do. Yamod, Daniel Ben, Rav Yaakov, Yaakov Ben Daniel, Abraham Yosef Ben Yitzhak, Batya, Ladia Shlishit. Come around here. And our reader for the third is Robbie Glantz, virtually. Close. I know we're trying to space. Okay, the blessing. And anyone else online rising to join them? I see Alyssa and the Bernsteins.
Sue Dorsey.
Excellent. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Allie.
Amen. And switch.
5 minutes, you're good. We'll pick up.
You're good. You can go.
Amen. Batir Sarah et Ben Hagar Hamitzrit Asher Yaldal LaAvraham Mitzachek V'tomer LaAvraham Garesh Ha'ama Hazot Ve'et Bana Ki Lo Yirash Ben Ha'amar Hazot Im B'ni Im Yitzchak Vayera Hadavar Ma'od Ve'enei Abraham Al Odot B'no Vayomer Elohim El Abraham Al Yera Ba'aneka Al Hanar Ba'al Ameteka Kol Asher Tomar Elecha Sarah Shema Bikolam Ki Biatzek Ikore Laha Sarah.
And the blessing following. Ready?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan Torah avnei v'chayei olam b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. So this piece of Torah also sort of listen to Sarah because she knows how the name will endure of Beth Evergreen. So you have responded to the call to see into the distant future for Beth Evergreen and invest in it. So too, may your name and legacy live long and prosper. Indeed. And may the works of your hands continue to be blessed in the coming year. V'nomar, and let us say, Amen. Yishar koach. For the fourth Aliyah, those marking a new venture this year, setting out on a new course, or a new project, and also new members. So I'm trying to see if we have any new members, either physical members or virtual members on the Zoom call. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Do that too. I'm doing a book project this year, so that's a new venture. And I guess I'm reading also. So.
Keeping busy.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamborach. Baruch Adonai Baruch Leolam Vayed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirvanu lavodato v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. Gam et ben ha'ama l'goy asimenu. I will also have Ishmael, your other son, the son of the maidservant, become a nation great. Ki zarachahu, because he is your seed. Vayeshkem Avraham baboker, and Avram arose early in the morning. Vayikach lechem v'chemat mayim, vayiten el Hagar, sam al sichma. And so Abraham took some water and some bread and placed it upon Hagar, on her shoulder, with her son, Et HaYeled, Vayishlachehu, and he sent her away. Vatelech, Vateta, and she went forth and she wandered. Bamidbar Be'er Sheva, in the wilderness of Be'er Sheva, of the 7 wells. Vayichlu mayim min vayichlu hamayim min hachemet. Vateshlech hayeled tachat echad hasichim. And the water was empty in her skin. And she threw the boy under a bush. Vateshev mineged harachok, and she sat herself far away, far enough away, like the shot of the bow shot distance. Mimtachave kashet. Ki amrala al b'mot hayeled. I just can't look upon the death of my son, she said. Vateshev mineged, and she went and sat there. Vatisat kolah, and she lifted up her voice. Vatefk, and she cried, she wept. Vayishma Elohim et kol hana'ar. And God heard her voice. Actually, God heard the voice of the child. Vayikra malach Elohim el Hagar min hashamayim. And the messenger of the divine called forth to Hagar from the heavens. Vayomer, ma lach Hagar. And it said to her, what's with you, Hagar? Al tir'i, don't be afraid. Ki shama Elohim el kol hanar. Because the divine hears the voice of children. Ka'asher ba'asher husham, wherever they are. And if you're joining me in the blessing, new members and new venturers, here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. So those doing new ventures, and it's really all of us doing this new venture of congregating in COVID. So may we have the courage to face our fears and to be vulnerable and ask for help and welcome it and receive it. And may this new journey be one that opens us to one another, opens our hands, open our hearts, and opens our minds to all that can be. V'nomar, let us say, Amen. A fifth aliyah for those seeking healing for themselves or others, or celebrating recovery. So, anyone in the kahal fit that bill? Want to come up for the aliyah? Huh? Okay. Wave your hand if you're on video for me to see if you're going to do the blessing for us. Good. The Schneiders. Excellent. There's the Fromans. Hi. All right. Can you guys, Michael, can you lead us in the blessing before?
Sure.
Friedman will be our reader remotely.
For who at Adonai Hamra,
Baruch Adonai Hamra.
Baruch Adonai Hamra Leolam Boed, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam, Asher Banu B'kol Ha'amim, V'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Continuation of the reading on page 487 in the Machzor, and it's Nancy Friedman.
Amen. Kumi si et hana'ar v'hachaziki et yadech bo ki legoy gadol asimenu vayivkach Elohim et eineha v'tereh be'er mayim v'telech v'tmaleh et hachemet mayim v'tashk et hana'ar ויהי אלוהים את הנער ויקטל, וישב במדבר, ויהי רובה קשת, וישב במדבר פרן, ותיקח לו עמו אישה מארץ מצרים.
Very nice. And Michael and Maureen, and yeah, the Schneiders and Maureen, go ahead.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah
Emet
v'olam natan b'teinu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. A prayer for healing. So if you'd like to put the name of someone you're praying for in the chat, please go ahead and do that. Blessings of healing to Maureen Spiegelman, Ron Solomon, Carrie Urban, Susan Levin, Lawrence Fox, Ron Saltzman, Yehuda Benjamin, Susan Steems, Ian Moore, Sandy Schneider, Lindy Shaw, Nikki Shaw, Eileen Saltzman, Judy Sherman, Angela Fitzgerald, Edward Cohen, Cameron Hopping, Linda Fogel, Betsy Pell, Jane Terry Noonan, Madeline Snyderman, Kate Olson, Adam Giordani, Robin Amadei, and Sally Feeder. David Gardner, Pat Sachini, the Sosbeck family, family of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Terrence Noonan, Margalit Batsara, Angela Fitzgerald, Teresa Schwartz, Michael Gottlieb, Bet Reynolds' sister, Eve Hogan, and all those families suffering from COVID, and Sam Yusim. Again? Okay. May they be granted a nefesh, refuat haguf, a healing of body and healing of soul, and may their caregivers and all first responders be granted courage and protection and health and venomar. And let us say, Amen. Amen. The sixth aliyah, we have a special one added for Shabbat. For any guests, newcomers here, first timers? Yeah, welcome. Would you be willing to come up and I can help you with a blessing? Sure, absolutely. And anyone else online? Feel free to unmute yourself. What's your name? Stacy? Nice. Do you know the Hebrew name? Yeah, Tamod, Zalma, Devora, Lalia Hashishit, and Jolie Pinsino is going to be our reader. Her first time reading on Rosh Hashanah as a new bat mitzvah. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Where? Here?
I think so. What's your first words?
Vaychulu.
Oh, Vaychulu. Ellen, I think you grabbed my prayer book, which I need. So in the Maksur, in the prayer book, oops, it's not the right page number.
488.
So you're reading Vaychulu? What's after that?
Hashamayim.
Oh, Ma'aretz, okay. So I have to roll the scroll. We're doing a little Genesis. Okay, so if you would hold that. Yep, hold those. Thank you. Okay, Joey? There you go. Okay, ready for the blessing? Baruch hu et Adonai Hamvorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher kirvanu la'avodato v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Page 500 in the Machzor.
Vaychulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chol tzva'am vaychal Elohim bayom hashvi'i malachto asher asa vayishbot bayom hashvi'i mikol malachto asher asa vayvarech Elohim et yom hashvi'i vaykadesh oto ki bo shavat mikol melachto asher bara Elohim la'asot.
And the blessing after. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Good. Stacy, would you like to share a hope for the year, or maybe connected to the congregation, or that you're? Put you on the spot. Well,
Thank you.
welcome, and may this bring you a sanctuary of community and a sense of belonging, and all of us. V'nomar Amen. Okay. I'd like to invite, before we return the Torah, Jay to come forward to do a blessing for the nation.
May I read this line twice?
Sure.
Hello, everyone. The prayer for the country, and I hope you can hear me. Let us bless and appreciate the blessing of these United States of America. May we, the citizens of this land, never forget the principles and promises that brought our ancestors to its shores: equality and justice, happiness and freedom, progress and pilgrimage, peace and tranquility. May the spirit that planted and sowed these ideals in human consciousness waken within us, all the inhabitants of our land, the strength to weed out hatred and enmity, prideful posturing, and discord, to spread seeds of love, friendship, community, and peace, to unify these states and celebrate our diversity. Guide the decisions of our leaders. I'll say that one more time to make sure it's heard. Guide the decisions of our leaders. Safeguard the defenders of American security, the mediators of international cooperation and trust, and promoters and defenders of liberty and justice at home and abroad. Fulfill the desire of all the Americans to speak proudly in its honor. Fulfill our longing to see America become a light to all nations, a healthy steward of the earth and nature's treasures, and a blessing to all inhabitants of the globe. And may we soon fulfill the vision of the prophet, that is, nation shall not lift sword against nation. Let them learn no longer ways of war. And let us say, Amen.
Amen. Let's rise and redress the scroll, and then we'll do a prayer for the state of Israel. And Marty, decent enough to come up and redress. Prayer for the state of Israel on page 580 and 581. You may be seated. Tzur Yisrael begoalo. Barech na ad Medinat Yisrael. Reshit smichat geulatenu. Rock and champion of Israel, please bless the state of Israel. And guard it in the abundance of your love, and spread over it the sukkah of your peace. Send forth your light and your truth to those who lead and judge it, and to those who hold elective office, and establish in them wise counsel, that they may walk in the ways of justice, freedom, and integrity. Strengthen the hands of those who guard our holy land, and let them inherit salvation and life, and give peace to the land, and perpetual joy to all of its inhabitants. Appoint for a blessing all of our kindred of the house of Israel in all the lands of their dispersion, and plant in their hearts a love of Zion. And for all of our people everywhere, may God be with them, and may they have the opportunity to go up to the land. Cause your Spirit's influence to emanate upon all dwellers of our holy land, and remove from their midst, the midst of the children of Israel and the children of Ishmael, all hatred and enmity, jealousy and wickedness. Plant in their hearts love and kinship, peace and friendship, and soon fulfill the vision of your prophet, Lo yisa goy el goy cherev, v'lo yilmedu od milchama. V'nomar, and let us say, Amen. All right, so respecting the gap. It's a new year. So we'll start with some news, some new things. Number one, in the U.S., there is a higher percentage of adult children living with their parents than in any time since the Great Depression, one of the byproducts of high unemployment, especially among millennials. Number two, in a time of crisis, we're being told not to congregate, at least not in large numbers. Now, this is not new in Jewish life. Jews, like other religious minorities throughout history and around the globe, have been discouraged or prevented from gathering before. Like religious bigotry, COVID-19 is highly contagious, frequently asymptomatic, and difficult to detect, very difficult to treat, and potentially deadly. To keep the forces of bigotry at bay, we've had to come together in the past, to stand together, to march together with allies. To keep this virus at bay, we've had to stay socially distanced. And number three, on this planet, as evidenced by climate change, never before has the fate of so many species rested in the hands of one. So these are three headlines, putting lines on my head at the head of the year. Three new realities, three gaps to mind. Adult kids moving back home, highlighting a generational gap. All of us being advised to stay home and stay distanced from one another when we seem most in need of connections and traditions, a spiritual, communal gap. And our collective home, our planet crying like Ishmael with heat waves and wildfires, hurricanes and floods. Land, sea, and sky are sounding the alarm like a shofar. An environmental gap, generational gap, a spiritual communal gap, an environmental gap. I wonder which one of these three gaps seem most dire to you. We could take a vote, but I wouldn't want to out those with adult children. I'll just out myself. This past year, I made several moves. For many months, I moved into my mother-in-law's basement. It was part-time. It shortened my commute. She wanted the company and support. That's what I told myself. And then in January, my oldest son, Tal, who's over there, asked me if I would move into an apartment with him. It was a small place. It reminded me of the first apartment that my wife Marty and I moved into 30 years ago. Exactly 30 years ago, this month. And it looked and it felt like a big step backwards. I resisted. And it turns out I wasn't very good at making the shift from father to roommate either. It was hard. I had to be reminded to feel honored. My son wanted to live with me as an adult, and not just because he had to. He actually had a job. Why didn't I feel that way first? Why did someone else have to prompt me to take another look? And the divine messenger, the angel, called to Hagar and said, "What's with you, Hagar?" And my angel said to me, "What's with you, Jamie? Don't let blind pride get you. Can't you see what your son is saying? Meet him where he's at. Ba'asher Husham. Take another look." And her eyes were opened, and behold, a well of water. Jamie, take a look at this roommate request. You're not just downgrading your living space, you're being gifted with an opportunity to create a new kind of relationship with your son, to literally bridge a generational gap. There's more examples. I'll just give one more. Last summer, Tal found a discarded canoe on the side of the road and decided he would bring it home. You know, for me to fix. Yeah, this boat didn't just have holes in it, it had gaping holes. Let's just say Jonah, not my other son Jonah, but the biblical guy, well, he got swallowed by a whale. Well, let's just say he wouldn't go near this boat. He would go straight for the whale. But that's next week's story. Where was I? Oh yeah, the canoe. Great. Another project. More rescued trash for me to deal with. And it wasn't even wood. I like working with wood. It was fiberglass. I mean, is it fiber or is it glass? It's like lobster. Is it made for the sea or the land? It's in the water, but it sinks. You can't tell what a lobster is supposed to live? It's got to be trafe. Totally not kosher. Fiberglass totally would have been taboo back in the day. It's like mixing wool and linen. Shotness, not kosher, which is a long-winded rabbinic way of saying that I was feeling less than thankful for a free canoe. And then it hit me. Not the canoe, an idea. A crazy idea, meshugana. I mean, who in their right mind asks for help? I could ask my dad to help me fix it. He moved last year to Evergreen. He could help me close those gaping gaps in the hull of this boat. Cutting, patching, sanding fiberglass. Ugh, it's messy, it's smelly, it's sticky, and the dust is nasty. Like I heard once it gets in your lungs, it stays there forever. But at least we had plenty of masks handy. And the truth is, we had a great time, parent and child, patching a canoe. And then my kids helped me repaint it. 3 generations brought together by a discarded canoe. I took some before and after pictures. Emblematic. When I first saw the canoe, blemishes, burden, bah. When I looked again, there it was. Beautiful. The possibility. Bikini blue paint, it was great. Moving in with adult children. Repairing a canoe. The beauty and the possibility. Those who help us see hidden wells, concealed opportunities, the treasure in the trash, these are our angels. Later in the service, I'll ask you to be angels for one another, to help us name some of the blessings that COVID-19, with all the angst and hardship, has brought, the beauty and the opportunity that's been unmasked by this global pandemic, like a collaboration with Laura Berman from Portland. This summer, I also got to collaborate with Ruth Gendler, our scholar from last winter, just before COVID came. She's the author of the Book of Qualities and another book on beauty. And in it, she offers a word for those willing to and able to look again. Look again with an eye for the beauty, for the blessing. And she calls them respecters. Respecters. I love it. And she's right when she says that the world needs more respecters, especially now. Religious communities are in need of respecters, willing to look again at their heritage, at their tradition, willing to ask for and offer to help one another. And the planet needs respecters, communities of respecters. Last night I spoke about minding the gap, being aware and being bothered by gaps. This morning's word of the day is respect. To look again and respect, honor. Respecting is a way of seeing, a second sight. We are told on Shabbat you get a second soul. It's a way of seeing again that needs to be practiced, taught and learned, modeled and encouraged. And we are being invited to respect in so many ways today. By children moving back home, by friends and strangers Zooming in homes and apartments all over the country, and by the many species around the globe that are pleading with us to clean up our mess, repair broken canoes, stop trashing our planet, wake up to the treasures embedded in our inheritances, starting with the natural world we've put at risk, and the spiritual and religious traditions and teachings we've been dismissing, like apartments we outgrew or the remnants of a canoe suffering from abuse and neglect. Respect. Be a respecter. That's the cry for help I'm hearing this morning. From our kids urging us to bridge the generational gap, from our Torah readers who did such a great job bridging the gap between screen and sanctuary, from the wildfires and hurricanes, and from the shofar, the horn of a ram, a reminder of a species that was sacrificed in our stead, in Isaac's stead, calling us to look again with renewed respect to close the environmental gap. Listen to the shofar, to the child, to Torah, in the wind and in our breath, saying, respect. Shana Tova.
We are crossing a great divide. There's a distance between you and I. We'll get home by hell or fire. I don't know how, but I know why. across a nation with a careful stride. We are hoping to make good time. I don't know how, but I know why. Hold on to me, hold on to me. I will lose myself till I am free. I am free, and all that's left is me and you. And the way through the great divide. Well, I want to be by your side, and I know you're not far behind. I don't know how, but I know why. Hold on to me, hold on to me. I will lose myself till I am free. I am free, and all that's left, all that's left, hold on to me, hold on to me. Lose yourself, oh, lose yourself till you are free. You are free, and all that's left is me and you. And the way through, the way through the great divide. The way to you is through.
Thank you, Laura. Beautiful. Okay, we're gonna head into this Musaf section of the service. So I'm gonna invite us to rise for the returning of the Torah to the Ark. And then maybe the Gustafsons can open the Ark again for us. And then we'll do the shofar blowing and integrate it into this. Remain standing, and we'll open the ark just a moment to bow for the beginning of the Malchuyot section, and then we'll continue with the shofar blowing. We won't do a full shofar service because it is the Sabbath today. And we'll do two of each. And you'll do one and everyone? Okay, we have a shelter. And if you like, this is the one time of year where we're invited as Jews to bow all the way to the ground. So you're welcome to do that if you have the space and create that. And maybe you have more room at home to do it than you've ever had before.
שנתן לנו תורת אמת, וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
The shofar of Malchuyot.
Okay, turn it off there. I got it.
שפתנו יראה לפניך, ארם ונישא. הרשת שפתנו רב לפניך, ארם. 632. מבין ומאזין, מביט ומקשיב לכל תקייתנו, ותקבל ברחמים, ברחמים וברצון, סדר מלכויותינו.
As we move into the Zichronot section, I want to invite you to help our community identify opportunities for learning, for recovering memories, relearning from the past and from our own experience. So we're looking for speakers and themes or topics, and not afraid of controversial ones, to line up for the coming year. So please put in the chat or speak to, Jay Kramer is helping to lead our adult education group as we prepare to hear the voices of the past and connect with compassion to those grieving and in suffering right now. Shofrot, the shofar for the Zichronot section.
Sifatenu yerav lefanecha, eram v'nisa. Hareshet sifatenu yerav lefanecha, eram v'nisa. Mevinu mazin mabitu makshiv lekol tekiyate 664. Utekabel berachamim berachamim uvratzon seder zichronotenu. And the final bless for this Rosh Hashanah first day, we can hear more tomorrow, in identifying our vision, our aspirations for the future. The shofar blowing for shofrot. Where to? Hareshet sifatenu yerab lefanecha, eram v'nisa. Hareshet sifatenu yerab lefanecha, eram v'nisa. Mevinu mazin mabitu makshiv lekol tekiyatenu. Utekabel berachamim berachamim uvratzon seder shofrotenu. Hayom hayom hayom. Hayom harat olam. Today is the birthday of the world, the day a new world is conceived. Today all beings of the cosmos hear and respond to the shofar. Its voice proclaims the world's repair, a voice that grows in strength as it proceeds. All we need to do is speak and act, and God will answer. A voice, Ayom B'Kadosh, holy and awesome. Page 1208. Let's do 1207. I'll read the first stanza, then please join me in the second one. It is up to us to hallow creation, to respond to life with the fullness of our lives. It is up to us to meet the world, to embrace the whole even as we wrestle with its parts. It is up to us to repair the world and to bind our lives to truth together. Therefore, we bend the knee and shake off the stiffness that keeps us from the subtle graces of life and the supple gestures of love. With reverence and thanksgiving, we accept our destiny and set for ourselves the task of redemption. V'nemar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad, Ushemo, Ushemo, Ushemo echad. So if you're saying Kaddish this morning, the mourner's prayer, please remain standing. We stand grieving together with Susan Lehman, who lost her brother yesterday. We grieve Stuart Fox. And of course, the nation is grieving Ruth Bader Ginsburg. May her memory be for a blessing, and may their families be granted courage and strength in this difficult time. We also extend condolences to the families of Hal Gluscotter and Marcia Kessler, Jill Waldenberg's mother, Charlie Shaw, Eric's father, Dorothy Regensteiner, Judy's mother, Arnold Cover, Sandy Schneider's cousin, Morty Vogel, Amy's father, Amy Bourne's father, Sally Gendler, Amy's sister, May Savage, Cindy Savage's mother, Howard Siegmund, Miriam Klerman, Susan Goldman, Merrill Roth, Steve Walkowitz, and Arthur Bernstein. Other names to mention today? Zach Smith? Jonathan Pollock. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. You see if there are other names here, sorry. Jerry Goldberg, Shirley Newman, Janet Braverman, Ron Fragan. Mourner's Kaddish, page 1216. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, b'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnasei v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudsha Richu. Le'ela, le'ela, mikol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, damiran v'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru. Amen.
Shalom b'mromah, say shalom aleinu, ve'akol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oh, say shalom b'mromah. Say shalom aleinu, ve'akol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Yahaseh shalom, Yahaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'akol Yisrael, Yahaseh shalom. Yahaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'akol Yisrael. Yahaseh shalom, Yahaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'akol Yisrael. Yahaseh shalom, Yahaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'akol Yisrael. Yahaseh shalom, Yahaseh
thank Debbie Singer and Sherry Rubin and Paul and Alan for creating such beautiful music, and of course Laura Berman chiming in from all the way from Portland. And I want to thank Matt, who's running our AV and installed this whole new system. And also especially want to thank Elizabeth Moore, who's been navigating the switcheroos on the Zoom, with slides and everything else. Thank you to everybody and the board members, and Eve, thank you too. If you want to come up and you want to share some announcements for the and you can introduce Judy too.
Good morning, Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.
Thank you for being here, everybody, at home and in person. Just a couple announcements. I'll be brief. After this service today, we'll do our virtual social on Zoom. I know Elizabeth sent the link out to everybody on Zoom right now, and there's a link on our website as well. And Rabbi Jamie will host that. And then today, between 3 and 4, is our drive-by. I hope you can all, if you're in the area, please come over. Circle the parking lot. Some of the board members will be here, Rabbi Jamie, myself, and some staff. And we have small gifts for you when you get here. We'll wear masks. You'll stay in your car. We'll wave and say hi. After that, 4 p.m. is our family service. That will be on Zoom and also in person for a limited amount of people. And tomorrow we have Rosh Hashanah Day 2 services at Kittredge Park with Penny Drucker. She's going to lead the service. That will start at 9:30, Tashlich at 10:30. And if you need the address, that should be on our website as well. And I think that's all I have. Thank you to the wonderful singers and band. Shana Tova.
All right. And is Judy going to do? Okay. And also to thank Alan Rubin, too, for helping coordinate all the AV stuff and get this in here. Thank you, Alan. And also Nate Wallowitz for being their Baltikia, or shofar blower extraordinaire this morning. Beautiful job. So thank you, everybody. We'll just close with a blessing over wine, which I guess you'll have to go home to enjoy. But wine is our symbol of joy, of celebration, right? Of remembering to fill our cup, right? To practice looking again and seeing that well of water that wasn't there before. So let us look to one another for support, encouragement, and help in the coming year, and it will offer much to promise and to fulfill. Alkein Birach Elanai Jumashpat Vakadshehu. On account of these gatherings, these appointed times that we our Ohel Moed, that we sanctify to bridge the gap in distance and in time. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen. L'chaim, to life and renewed life, l'shana tova. Shana tova, shana tova, shana tova. Umetuka, Shana Tova, Shana Tova, Shana Tova, Umetuka. Those in the sanctuary, you can leave your prayer books right there on the chair so we minimize the number